I like Daredevil a lot, and yes, I'm biased. Matt is my favorite fictional character, and I'll die on a hill before I stop defending him. And with all of the leaks about Daredevil being reintroduced into the MCU and a possible Daredevil game on the way, he's been a topic on Twitter, and recently I've seen a lot of whack Daredevil takes, like how the show is overrated and the movie is good. And I don't usually let stuff on Twitter get on my nerves because Twitter is a toxic cesspool of opinions treated as facts, and pretty decent opinions by me. Go follow me at Spawny Memes on Twitter. But there's only one thing that I let actively bother me, and that is Daredevil is a knockoff of Batman. I can't begin to describe just how this is wrong. The same thing is said a lot about Moon Knight, and while I totally understand that they use the same gadgets and stuff, it pretty much stops at that. I mean, are these two the same character? No, they're not, and the same goes for Moon Knight and Batman, and to be honest, Moon Knight would probably be in Arkham Asylum. But let's get back on track. A vigilante who works mostly at night, has a strict no-killing rule, and has an extremely sadistic, pure evil arch-nemesis who has killed close friends to the main character, and they also chill on gargoyles sometimes. The description I just said could easily describe both Batman and Daredevil on a base level, and that's exactly what it is, on a base level. I see people's main arguments about Daredevil very similar to what I just read. It's like saying Metallica is a knockoff of Iron Maiden, or Mortal Kombat is a knockoff of Street Fighter. Even something simple like their no-killing rule was spawned from two completely different things. Bruce Wayne's life was ruined by a random act of violence, so he swore to never let something like that happen again. So he dresses up as a bat, and he doesn't kill people. Meanwhile, Daredevil was blinded and shortly after his father was killed by a mobster because he threw a boxing game. But his no-killing rule doesn't spawn from that. It's the fact that he's a Catholic Christian, so he's afraid he'll go to hell. People are so ignorant to even look a little into a character's history that they'll disregard a character completely because of a few similarities. Hell, these two guys aren't the same, and neither are these two. Bruce Wayne is a man with a family, and in some cases prefers to work alone, but he has an entire legacy to help him. I mean, in some incarnations of the character, they have him be like a robot loner with no personality outside of justice. So, the good ones don't do that. On the flip side, Matt Murdock is someone who loves his friends but distances himself because he's afraid they'll get hurt or killed, which granted, he has a point. It has mileage. And the title of Daredevil has never even been handed to anyone else until really, really recently, with the most recent Daredevil run giving it to Elektra, which who else would they give it to? And that suit, man, it fucks and comes. It's perfect. It's fucking perfect. If we're going by this logic, is Vision a knockoff of Martian Manhunter, Black Cat of Catwoman, Iron Fist of Shang-Chi? In a genre of superpowered beings and world-ending threats, you'd think people would understand that a genre that's been consistently active for going on 90 years, they would understand similarities were inevitable. And people who have these powers and abilities, that's what makes it different. Even then, Daredevil actually has powers, by the way. People are actually so ignorant to learn about a character, they'll stop at vigilante that works at night and boom, it's a Batman rip. Not worth my time. I encourage anyone that's been told Moon Knight is a Batman rip or Daredevil is a Batman rip to read a comic or two. You really should. They're pretty cool. In fact, Batman is just a knockoff of the Punisher, so